Well, hi there everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kareth. On here, I like to do a lot of recipes for meals in jars using shelf-stable and freeze-dried ingredients. And today's recipe is for meatloaf. This is the recipe that I grew up eating because this is my mom's recipe. It was my grandma's recipe. And I figured out that people are very particular about their meatloaf recipe, and I think it's because they just like what they grew up with. Anyway, so I'm going to give you the recipe that I grew up with, and you can definitely kind of use it as a guide or just, use kind of the technique that I use to make this and then make adjustments to your preferences. You can customize this and make it however you like to make it. My family loves a ketchup topping on our meatloaf, but not everybody does. I mean, you don't have to put ketchup on there. You could do barbecue sauce or a combination of barbecue sauce and ketchup. You could make your own topping using a ketchup powder or just whatever you like. You could dress it up, add brown sugar, Worcestershire, whatever you want. That's just an idea for you. Let me show you how I put this together. I'm starting with a quart-sized jar because I wanted about 4 servings. I'm making this in a muffin tin. I'm going to make 9 mini meatloaves in the muffin tin, but you could totally bake this in a loaf pan if you prefer that. You're going to need about 2 cups of meat total. So I suggest a combination of ground beef and the sausage crumbles, but that's up to you. Whatever you choose, please do pulse those in the blender. You need to get the meat to be smaller pieces in order for it to refresh properly. So I pulsed my ground beef and I pulsed some sausage. And then that right there in the middle is the quick cook oats. Those are perfect for meatloaf as the filler. Do not use old-fashioned oats or steel-cut oats. They will not have time to cook. You need to use the quick cook oats. All right, there goes some eggs, and then I really like to use mozzarella. And once again, I pulsed it in the blender. The mozzarella is very mild in flavor, and it's really good in the meatloaf. I'm adding some zucchini here because I really like to hide vegetables in my meatloaf. I mean, the kids hardly even notice it's there. Zucchini is very mild. I love to add extra veggies. All right, for the sauce powders, I'm using a combination of both tomato sauce and Espanol. And the tomato sauce, you could sub tomato powder if you don't have the tomato sauce, but it does have some extra seasonings in there. I have a copycat recipe for the Espanol, and I'll include it in the description box below. I'm using 2 kinds of onions here. I've got chopped white onions and green onions, but if you don't have the green onions, don't worry about it. You can just use all chopped onions. My grandma and my mom, they always used milk as the liquid for their meatloaf. It just adds some richness and I really like it. So I'm adding some instant milk. And you can add an oxygen absorber, and this is the jar you would store on your pantry shelf. Isn't that a lovely jar? I really like those layers. Okay, so this is the kind of meal that's really convenient to have on your pantry shelf because it's so quick to make. You can make this on a weeknight. It comes together in about half an hour. You can have a meatloaf dinner for your family in like half an hour. Oh yeah, and I wanted to give you a teddy bear update. Poor little Teddy, he's got a heart condition, y'all. He's got pericardial effusion. So he's got an enlarged heart and he has fluid in the sac around his heart because he's got a leaky valve. So bless him, y'all. Pray for little Teddy. He's got him some heart medication. All right, and when you're ready to make this meatloaf meal, all you have to do is get out a medium-sized bowl. You don't even have to turn your stove on here. It's just dump the jar into the bowl, and then you're going to add some hot water, okay? That's just hot tap water. And I find that if you put in hot water, it does help to refresh the meat and then soften the oats a little bit better. So I do suggest hot tap water there. I started with about 1.25 cups, and then I added another 1/4 cup. Here in just a second, you'll see me. Okay, yeah, there I'm adding the last 1/4 cup. Now, this recipe is really similar to my Swedish meatballs recipe for the actual meatballs, but this is a little bit different. It needs a bit more liquid. So you need to let it sit for 10 minutes and then stir it again. Go ahead and preheat your oven, by the way, 375. But, and then stir it again. And then this is the texture you're looking for. It needs to be a lot more liquidy than those meatballs were, okay? Add some more water if you need to. I got out my muffin tin and I just sprayed it with cooking spray. And then I'm just using an ice cream scoop. And I think that's about a half cup scoop or so, something like that. I got 9 meatloaf muffins out of this. If you get 8, that's fine, whatever, it'll work. Now I'm going to show you how I do that ketchup topping, okay? I just save the extra ketchup packets when we go through the drive-thru. We've got this burger place we like up the road, and they always give us extra ketchup packets. So I just save those, and I've kept them for more than 6 months and not had any trouble. But I mean, it's up to you. This is how I like to top my meatloaf. I ended up off camera, I added even more ketchup because I really like that topping. But you could store a little jar of barbecue sauce next to your meal in a jar, or you could store a little bottle of ketchup. I mean, it's up to you. I've even seen ketchup powder from the Spice House. You could make your own topping. It's up to you. But I do suggest some sort of a topping. All right, and then I bake that for about 20 minutes at 375. You're just wanting to cook the oatmeal, cook the eggs, heat everything through. But see how nice and glossy that ketchup gets on the top? I think it's just so pretty. And I didn't have a bit of trouble getting these out of the muffin tin. And of course, it's a non-stick muffin tin, and then I had sprayed it, so that was helpful. But yeah, they came out no problem at all. 2 of these was enough for me and my girls. My husband liked 3. But they do develop a nice little crust on the exterior. When you're cooking with freeze-dried food, sometimes the texture can be kind of different than if you were cooking with fresh ground beef. So getting a little bit of a crunch on the exterior of that meatloaf was really nice. Also, the oats inside, they help the texture of your meatloaf. They give your meatloaf the mouthfeel of a regular meatloaf. So I highly suggest you use the quick cook oats. All right, and I wanted to cut into this and to show you, yeah, it's sturdy. It holds up really well. You can cut it with a fork and stick a fork in there, and it's not going to fall apart on you. Those oats are really nice in here. The flavor is fantastic. This is a delicious meatloaf recipe. You can do really interesting, really cool, really different things with your freeze-dried food stores. I'm hoping that I'm inspiring you to just try something different. And don't be afraid to open up the cans, give it a try, and see what you like. We really enjoyed this meatloaf meal. I hope you will too. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will include my full recipe in the description box below, as well as my shopping link in case you want to pick up any of these Thrive Life ingredients. We have fantastic food over at Thrive Life, and if you order through my shopping link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and I just get a little bit of a commission on the purchase. All right, guys, thank y'all so much. I pray y'all have a blessed day, and until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.